I promise this comes back around to Dragon Ball. So once upon a time, an aging millennial's childhood, in the ancient times of 2003, I was chomping down on the original Teen Titans from 2003. Now, I was just a kid at this point, not even in middle school. It was my favorite show of all time, Teen Titans, which honestly isn't saying much because I had only been alive for, well, since like 1994. But I was really young, and I loved the art style of Teen Titans, but I had no idea it was anime anything. I didn't even know what anime was, but all that changed when
Fire Nation attacked.
It was moved to Toonami in, I believe, 2004. I mean, with anime, I essentially entered the stairway to anime heaven when I finally discovered Toonami. Good old Tom would eventually say the word anime, and then I was like, oh, this is some kind of art style from America. Yeah, it still hadn't hit me this was from Japan, but Dragon Ball was not even on at this point. It was not until I saw Naruto had it hit me that anime equals Japan, like Japan animation.
Hooray!
At this point, I had become a total weeb, and yes, I was doing the Naruto run when I was a kid. Shameful, I know. The 2005 finally rolls around, and I am deep in math. It's Halo. I'm deep in Halo, but this isn't about Halo. Sorry, Master Chief. This, ladies and gentlemen, is when Dragon Ball rolls back onto Toonami like two missing coconuts that went on a trip to Canada and finally made their way back to Mexico. Goku blasted onto the scene and proceeded to blast my little mind when Dragon Ball was on and the action started kicking up. It looked like there was a rave going on in my room at night. The show would light up my TV screen from all the power-ups and large men beating the shit out of each other, with lasers coming out of all the orifices. Now, from what I remember, they only aired a portion of the show, and then it was whooshed away, and well, that was kind of it, until 2007 came around when I was ultra weeb, sitting in my room all day, weeb, as a major weeb, like beyond ultra weeb, watching nothing but anime on a little site called Anime Freak, where you can watch tons of free anime. I have no idea if they're still around, probably, although I would be kind of shocked. And I believe that was the site I watched the rest of Dragon Ball on. I know it was online and not with a, paid service. I'm not even sure if one existed at that point, honestly, though it probably did. There's just no way I wanted to pay for it. Now let's talk about this character. As you see him coming together, you may notice, well, he reminds you of Cell a little. Well, you'll see it when I actually start drawing on the armor. Because I used Cell as like major inspiration, along with Janabi. Okay, I'm butchering his name. He was a villain in one of the old Dragon Ball movies from what was it, 90s? He had like pink armor on. I'll just put a picture on it, but I really like his armor design. I also based this character around beetles because I thought, like Cell was kind of like inspired by insects, so I was like, well, why don't I just base this character's design around an insect too, kinda, so I chose beetles, not like, Beatles, the band. But yeah, I thought it would be for an interesting character. But this character is a bit of a jester, if you will, a comedic villain. He could come off a bit incompetent and weak. He is someone that is a bit complex. He is not a villain though, but nonetheless ends up still being a threat to Earth. His second form, which I will share at the end of the video, shows him to be much larger, a much larger man, or alien man, with a tail, of course. That's when his power level jumps up, but he is not like super strong, like you wouldn't put him in a top 3 list of strongest Dragon Ball character power levels or whatever wise. What keeps him in the fight is his fighting techniques and the creative ways he uses his abilities to get an edge over his opponent. There is no power absorption like Cell or anything like that either, and his second form is his only form, right? There would be no like golden version or whatever, something, whatever like that, of him. And he has for sure lost fights before, but has grown from those defeats. I suppose much like Goku, which is why he can be such an effective fighter. I have no name for him, and I figured like maybe you guys would be interested in naming this character. It's up to you though in the comments, but that'd be really cool if you did, but you know, that's fine. I can see him originating from a planet similar to ours, but with a vastly different culture and a way of living. Maybe they are very like nature-loving people, like Avatar shit, preferring to live within the massive forests with large, tall, spanning trees, like something similar to the redwoods in California. And any of you know that, like, 'cause I know not everyone lives in the United States. Not everyone's gonna be familiar, but those are some big ass trees where you can literally drive a little like truck through it. I mean, yeah, that all sounds a little hippie, but you know, at least their planet isn't dying and are suffering from global warming. But nah, instead it faced an apocalyptic event where their ancient sun finally died out, wiping out the majority of his people. Well, that got dark, but there you go.
Oh, no.
He spent decades trying to find a new home for his people until finding the perfect planet. In Dragon Ball's universe, which is Earth.
Oh no!
Earth in their universe isn't all screwed up. But true, it does frequently get invaded by strange, large men from outer space on a weekly basis.
Ooh,
I mean, practically. Honestly, I probably would have packed my belongings to get the hell out of Dodge the first time a spaceman attempted to destroy the planet, you know? But this guy should fit right in. You got a god, a pickle man, a gum man, a bald man, and Yamcha. It is a real party and everyone is in danger. But I think I could see this character's arrival as problematic because I could just see him waltzing in and just making himself comfortable in the nearest forest, but then come to find out it's a park in the middle of a city. But he somehow wasn't aware of it for comedic effect, and maybe he's like kicking people out or seeing them as invaders, and that gets Goku's attention after it gets shown on the news or something. And it just kind of escalates from there and eventually leads to a fight between him and Goku, but it's not really a super serious life-threatening fight. Like, honestly, I could see this character being allies kinda with Goku and friends eventually. I like to think his people end up getting a proper home on a really large island with a massive jungle out of Jurassic Park. I know it's not the same as like a forest, but whatever, it's like it should be fine. It'll be fine, I'm sure. But anyway, here is his final form. Bam! A large, meaty man with pulsating abs and ass. And here is me leaving. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like the video if you like it and dislike it if you disliked it, and hit the subscribe button to keep seeing more of my videos. Thank you.